Welcome everybody to Beyond 11. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. I think I hear the faint sound of maybe, some bass. I have a really cool bass, a really cool guest on today. Again, we're on from 3 to 4 p.m. live. Thank you for watching. We have polls, we've got some prizes. So thanks for watching, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, we are back, and I am super excited to have my friend, educationist, bass educationist, and touring player, bassist, just awesome guy, Murphy Karges is joining us today. Man, thank you for being on the show, Murphy.
Happy to be here, dude.
Yeah,
very
really
cool.
appreciate it, man. How's everything? You doing good?
Good, yeah.
Nice, man. I like the bass you brought.
This is a special bass. This
Yeah.
is cool. This is my G&L SB2 that I bought in 1994. And it's a special bass. This is the bass that in the band Sugar Ray that I was in at the time went on to do some pretty cool things musically. So it's a nice bass.
I mean, I just want to.
There you go.
I just want to get a little vibe from it a little bit. So where did you grow up?
I grew up supported in Hoag Hospital.
Newport
Orange
Beach?
County, yeah, Newport Beach.
Newport,
Orange
yeah.
County. And so Newport Beach I grew up. I did move to Northern California for a little while. My dad got a job up there, so I actually went to school up there. Then I came back down for high school and I went to University High School in Irvine. What's up, Irvine?
What's up, Irvine?
Well, Irvine's funny. Irvine's like the place that everybody used to make a joke. Remember the Irvine Improv? Comics would bury Irvine.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Well,
But
I grew up in
Irvine's a
Huntington.
great town.
I grew up in Huntington. Went to
Yeah.
Edison High School.
But
so
Irvine
we're
was like this dorky town that people made fun of. But Irvine, I will tell you, Irvine had a skate run. And they had a BMX track too that was really bitchin'.
Where was that at?
The track was by the freeway, but you know who I saw skating? And this is a true story. I'm cruising there and I go look at the skate run. There's a guy named Zach who's skating, and I go, "Hey, what's going on?" And I met this guy, and I'm like, it turns out to be Zach De La Rocha.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, because I went to high school with Zach and Tim from Rage, and I saw him skating one. I go, "This town's not that bad, you know." So.
Dude, that's so cool, man. Did you start and you surfed? Grew up surfing,
I love the
skating, and all
beach.
that.
Love the beach. Don't you?
Me too. Oh, dude, growing up in
Huntington
Huntington.
Beach?
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
That's all we did was surf the jetties, surf. That was.
I
that
got
was the
heavily into
lifestyle.
surfing. Yeah, I fell in love
Nice.
with it big time. So
Okay.
it was guitar and surfing, I would say.
Got it.
I fell in love with. Who doesn't love the beach, right?
That's true. So musically, you started on guitar at first?
No, I actually started on. That's a good question.
How did the musical journey begin?
Well, yeah, because when you're a kid, you're looking at it going like, what do I want to do? What do
Yeah.
I, And for me, I thought the bass was a weird instrument. I thought it was a really cool, weird instrument because it was. Everybody said when I was younger, like, I want to play guitar. Oh, I want to play guitar. Never really heard anybody say, I want to play bass. It was like, I want to play guitar. So I thought that was interesting that nobody talked about this instrument. And a lot of times you hear people say like, oh, we didn't have a bass player, so our second guitar player played bass.
Yeah.
I think this instrument is super cool. And I fell in love with the fact that it just looks a little bit different because you see guitars everywhere.
Sure.
And so I fell in love with the oddity of bass. If not oddity, but just that it was the thing that people neglected. And I like that thing.
You weren't the odd man out that got chosen to play bass?
No,
you actually picked it.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I like it.
I thought it was cool, yeah.
All right, we got a couple of people. Peter, woohoo, it's Beyond 11 time. Thanks for joining. Good morning, Mock Bass. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us, guys. So then when did you start? Woohoo. When did you start?
When I started playing? 14 or 15 years old right there, yeah.
All right.
I need to get one. So I got a used secondhand bass. For your first bass.
Yes.
Our first basses were not anything fancy at Guitar Center. They were, it was a used bass from a buddy. It was beat up. It was a blue Hondo bass with a short scale. It was nasty, but it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Do you still have it?
I do not. I do not.
All right.
That was gone long ago, but the memory is with me. So, it didn't matter that it wasn't like an impressive bass. To me, when I held it, and I think it's what's so great about instruments for anybody is that it was a way to express myself.
Sure.
And that was like the light went on. Because for some reason I journaled as a kid. I don't know why. I would literally write and just journal my thoughts out, and I could throw it away. I don't know where I got the idea to journal, but So I was writing all these words about how I felt or whatever. And then I got this bass and I put it in my lap and I'm like, I'm making these silly dumb notes and I'm like, words, music, should I write a song and put a band together? And so I got the idea and I thought that was so powerful and cool to try to put a song together.
Okay.
And you could go play it, something you're feeling inside in front of people. That just, my mind just went, I just exploded.
So right from there, you started a band. You were the bass player and started a band?
I started really quickly, yeah. I didn't want to wait forever. I took a few lessons and they didn't really work for me. They were, the guy, unfortunately, I always talk about this guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he liked his job and he's like, sit up like this. He told me to play like this, hold your hand like this always, sit like this. I'm like, this doesn't feel like the guy from The Clash, you know?
Yeah,
It's like,
way down here,
and so what I did was I quit the lessons because I didn't feel like they were giving me what I wanted to. He didn't ask me what bands I liked, intent, why are you doing this? And when I teach people, I go, why are you here?
Sure.
What do you want to do? What do you like? And so I just went home and I started listening to the records, the Sex Pistols, the Clash, all these, Devo, the B-52s. All these bands I love, the energy, Van Halen, the energy on those records was amazing, right? So I'm like, where was the energy of those records in that? I didn't feel that. Not that it has to be so incredible right off the bat. You got to learn some fundamentals for sure. But it was just completely void of anything I was interested in. It felt like it was two different universes.
Interesting, okay.
And so I'm like, well, I just have to learn what those records do in relation to that thing.
Yeah.
And so I just started figuring it out, and that's how I taught myself.
That's
I
cool.
just learned from the records.
Well, it definitely, there's, obviously when you study, there's some that you have to like really study.
For sure.
But to be motivated, you do have to do some stuff that you want to do. So that's, when I was teaching, I'd at least like, let's have a happy medium.
Yeah.
Like, let's teach you some stuff that you really,
you got to be happy. You got to be inspired a little bit.
Yeah. And the good point about like the class, I mean, you can't compare Weather Report to the Clash.
Right.
In terms of like technical, but it's still like what serves it.
Yeah.
Like Jocko served that, but Paul Simonon served the Clash.
So
like
cool,
no one else could have done that. So
filling stadiums or whatever they would do.
So
and just influencing so many people with just their. It was a way of life that interested me.
Yeah.
It was the way of life that you could express yourself and do something really cool.
Yeah.
And that was what turned me on. But you're right. You got to study. You got to work hard too.
Yeah.
So my thing wasn't that I didn't want to work hard. It's that it was literally that this teacher really didn't want to be there.
Well, that's what I mean.
I felt bad. I'm like, this sucks.
He wasn't motivating you.
Just at least say, hey man, what bands you like or whatever. And it's funny because I've always beat that guy up for I wish I could meet him and go, dude, I'm so sorry. I always talk about how you were a bad teacher.
Dude, that's so funny.
But it actually informed me that how to teach well. Just care about somebody. Ask what they like.
Yeah.
Start there.
That's a good thing. All right, we got some comments. Peter, Mars Cowling from the Pat Travers Band really opened my eyes about the instrument and made me really appreciate it. Exactly. See, everybody has this emotional attachment.
Yeah.
I think whatever makes you emotional, I think it's great, man. Truly, once you find the pocket playing bass, there's nothing like it. Also gets you so many more gigs, as you said. Everybody wants to play guitar. That's correct, Eric. Let's see. Dean says my lessons were playing along with police tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sting is amazing. Sting,
kidding me? Yeah.
being able to sing and play bass with that rhythm is crazy.
Yeah.
And I like that comment from, was it Eric, the middle comment?
Yeah,
he said playing in the pocket. When you can find the pocket, like you said, Eric, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
No matter if you're, I think a lot of online YouTube and Instagram bass players and a lot of actually any instrumentation, it's all about how fast you can be. And it's impressive. It's super impressive.
It's pyrotechnics.
It is. Yeah, it's gymnastics, but it's impressive.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
But I am a song person first. I'm a music fan first. Actually, in my book, but maybe we'll talk about it.
We are going to talk about your book, man.
I have a chapter called Music Fan First because I think that when you go back to like Paul McCartney, and do you know who he was a fan of first? Paul McCartney, he was a music fan first. Sorry, you said
this is true. Well, no, but he was a music fan. But he was influenced by James Jamerson.
Yep.
Highly. I mean, the bass line for Something is so James Jamerson-esque, But you're right. He was a songwriter.
You know who also he was really influenced by? Him and John Lennon. Very influenced by. I have it in the book.
Who?
Buddy Holly.
Nice.
They were so influenced. You know why they're called the Beatles? The Crickets, the Beatles.
Oh.
They named the band
Buddy
the Beatles
Holly and the Crickets.
because of the Crickets, Do you know why they wore suits?
Why?
Buddy Holly. Amazing. So that's an influence that's not that's a very good astute observation that
Jamerson was just legend, genius.
Yeah, it changed a lot.
I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
But the fact that Buddy Holly, so you can have an influence in music too and be like, oh, I want to wear, this, or I want to be like that.
Yeah.
That's okay too. There's a lot of things to being a musician that is beyond how good you are on this instrument, I think.
Yeah.
It's like how are you going to be on stage? How are you going to connect with the audience? All those kind of things.
Got it.
Read that.
yeah. So no for yeah, we'll show you. But so the other rad thing is Murphy. You were one of the founding members of Sugar Ray, toured, played rock, played all this. But
yes, sir.
But you were always like the educational side, the learning, the being a musician was always important. And now you've come out with a course, and on YouTube, check it out. It's really rad. Like you've been really into a lot of lessons and teaching people, which I think is rad.
Right.
It's
well,
awesome.
thank you for that. Yeah, it's online on YouTube. It was my name, Murphy Karges, but I changed it to Bass with Murph.
Yeah, I like it.
And I started doing lessons a handful of years ago at one-on-one. We've probably all done lessons, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think they're cool, but video, which we're on, is so cool that you can make something and share it endlessly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't I just put my lessons online? Why don't I start sharing everything that I know, and I can try to reach more people?
Yeah.
So that was just the idea. I love the comment section. If you go to my YouTube, I actually have a thing where I've responded to every single comment that has ever come into my channel.
Wow.
I'm at about 500,000 views, something like that, 600,000 views or something over the course that I've had the channel. And that's my thing. Eventually, maybe it'll get to a place where I can't.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to hire somebody.
Well, but
You
I respond to every comment on my YouTube channel.
So check out his, actually it's Bass with Murph, the YouTube, if you look at it. Yeah, I saw that.
Well, they did that new cool thing where you can have a custom URL,
Yes.
but it's an ampersand. It's just, YouTube is smart.
Yeah,
They're
I saw
great.
that. That's rad, man. And so let's talk about the Sugar Ray thing. So founding member.
Yes, sir.
helped
Newport
found
Beach, 1988.
And it just,
At a little beach house, first practice.
I saw I saw the MTV Cribs. I watched a little bit of that. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I like when you dive in the pool with your pup.
Yeah,
That's rad.
That my dog,
Yeah,
She was a sweetie. She put up with me for doing that. I feel like, did I traumatize my puppy? Well, it's a golden.
Yeah, if she liked to swim, you're fine.
There you go.
But you're normal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying normal, but that we've had a lot of friends that have this fame. They blow up. You're in every household.
Right.
It can go to your head, substance, mental stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Just like this. I mean, it blew up. You blew up.
Yeah. No, it was. You're right. Thank you. It was amazing. Actually, it feels out of body sometimes.
Well, you're young. Younger, and
27. We got it started. But when our song hit K-Rock Fly in the summer of it was 97, I believe it was in the summer. It was really weird. You're caught up in how exciting it is that you have a song on the radio that's hitting, and now that might be a little different. It's streaming now, but it was such a big thing to be on K-Rock.
And MTV.
And MTV. The Fly just crushed MTV. McG did a great job directing.
Yeah.
Mark had a lot of ideas for the video too. Our singer Mark had a lot of ideas for the video. He was really good at that.
Yeah.
We all would chime in.
Sure.
But it was really just amazing. It was a ride that you felt like you were on. Wow. So you go, I better buckle in, or it's funny. My cousin said something that I said to him at the time. He said, and I don't remember saying this to him. He goes, "How did you? It seems so insane." And I said something like, "Well, you just got to go a little insane."
Yeah.
Or something that you just kind of jump in. You can't try to. So it was. I felt lucky to be with such talented guys in the band.
Yeah.
I think it takes a group of people to really. If you're out there and you're watching right now, and you're in a band, you're trying to make something, it really takes people. I mean, we do music, but it's actually the people business.
Yeah.
Don't you play with a band?
Yeah.
Do you play for people?
Yeah.
Hopefully we do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the people that help put your music together. There's companies. There's the NAMM show this week. It's about people. So
relationships.
It's
for sure.
If you're trying to do something, you're chasing down a dream. Make sure you find people who are aligned to what you want to do. I think that's I was so lucky to be with those guys.
Sure.
And McG was an amazing director. We luckily found Doug Morris, who's in my book. Doug Morris was an amazing executive, old school label boss guy who, this is the story, he saw our video. McG killed it on this video. Before we got our deal, he made a great video. We were in an ice hockey rink. Mark was skating around checking us. We were playing, rocking out. Every second was hyper and wild. And
this is coming out of like the beautiful Seattle scene that I love. They called it shoegazing.
Sure.
So this was vibrant and crazy. Our video somehow gets to one person, another, finally gets to New York, goes all the way from the mailroom, literally, to the mailroom, the cliche, to Doug Morris's office on the top floor. And he said this, he goes, sign that band.
Wow.
Give them whatever they want. That's why I got into music in the first place. That's a quote.
That's
Doug
amazing.
Morris. And so we get this crazy deal. It's all in the book. That story too. And I say that that chapter is about people. It's about connecting and understanding that your journey will require some humans.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's
That sounds bad. Does it require
No,
humans?
no,
You know
no,
what I
not
mean,
at
right?
all. Let's check out the cover of that book. Let's see if we can show it. And what's the title of the book?
Basics for Bassists. It's a little bit of a tongue twister.
I like it.
You
Basics
like it?
for
Okay,
Bassists.
yeah.
Now, when is it coming out, and when can people get it?
It is I just finished it.
Okay.
It's been edited. The art is done. It's out. I'm waiting on a couple things, and I think it's going to be out in about 2 or 3 months.
Nice.
But it's pretty simple to go to my YouTube channel and kind of find out what's happening there.
Yeah.
Or my website, Bass with Merv. Just go there and check it out. Or Instagram.
I think you have a direct. If you go murphykarges.com, it redirects to
Correct.
Bass with Merv.
Because I just
that's
changed
cool.
that around.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out if I like that.
I kind of dig it.
I like
mean,
it.
if you don't,
Thank you. I
I
want to
kind
hear.
of like it.
You don't think if it's horrible, would you tell me?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think it's cool because you go to it. It has an about section of you, but then it's people can type in. I like that redirect.
I was trying to come up with a name that didn't mean it was all just about me.
Yeah.
I wanted bass in the title. And then I'm like, well, if I can have my name in it, cool. And I didn't actually come up with that. I was thinking of other things. They had a lot of bad names. Do you remember naming bands when you're, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
So
you're writing down a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. You're spitballing. You're
Yep. Sugar Ray had a lot of bad ones.
Really?
Sprinkler Head.
Sprinkler Head.
Some really, really bad ones. And
Fly by Sprinkler Head would have been epic. That's
Sugar Ray was like the least one we could make
But
fun
that's
of
a great
somehow.
name.
Yeah.
That's a great band
yeah,
name.
it was
That is. Let's see, Jazzio 2, what was the most challenging part of putting the book together?
Jazzio 2, thank you
Ooh.
for your question. Very,
There
very
you
cool. I would say the most challenging part of putting it together, writing it and editing it. Just actually putting your butt in the seat every single morning and writing it. There's Bartender. We'll get to that one.
Oh,
so the hardest part was actually just really sitting down and getting all the way through the first draft. And I'll tell you something that got me through it. About halfway through, when I thought, "Am I going to finish this or not?" It was that I think we're all so critical. It's really,
self-critical, for
especially with
sure.
social media, we're so critical. I'm critical myself, but halfway through, I knew it was really important to do it because I wanted to share what I feel like I've come, my experience on bass or whatever that may be. The thought came to me to say, just attempt to be helpful. Don't even care if it's any good. That literally propelled me to finish
like it.
If I can just try to be helpful, that's it. And don't care if what I write's good. Just be helpful and leave it at that and walk on. So that helped me finish the book. So thank you for your question.
That's very cool. All right, Mr. Bartender, let's see, is that the bass used in the movie Father's Day? Or
What's up, Adrian? How are you,
Adrian.
buddy? Good to see you, man.
Oh, you know
Right on.
Adrian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Bartender is the amazing #1 Sugar fan of all time. He
Really?
is the
Welcome,
man.
Adrian. Thanks for
Yeah,
watching, man.
The bass in Father's Day. Oh, yes, it is. You're right, dude. This is the one.
Let's see it.
And so this actually, Adrian knows. He knows this story.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a curse word up here. Do you remember this, Adrian? It said, it had a line. Okay, Billy Crystal was in Father's Day, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, Father's Day, the one where his
Yeah. It was supposed to be a
gets married?
huge movie. It didn't do that good, but it was Robin Williams and Billy Crystal.
Okay.
Ivan Reitman directing, Ghostbusters fame.
Sure.
And so I had, for some reason, putting something on here that I thought was funny. It was a curse word.
You can tell us. What
Don't
was
fuck with Mr. Zero.
Okay.
It was a line from When Harry Met Sally. He goes, some guy had a shirt, and it was a really funny punchline in that movie. For some reason, I put that there. So we're in Reno filming Father's Day, and I go, I should show Billy Crystal that I have a thing from his line. Anyways, but this is that bass. Adrian, you're right. This is the one I played in that film, and that was a fun film to make.
Were you part of the wedding band, or what was the?
No, we were. Okay, so the movie Father's Day is this kid is chasing a girl around, and she ran off to follow a band, which is so funny.
Oh my God.
So we're that rock band
Got
in a
it.
club, and they happen to be searching for their son, who's chasing a girl who's chasing a band, and we were the band, and we hung out in Reno for a week.
That's rad.
Yeah,
So,
and
what-
Robin Williams was so cool.
Really?
I have a picture with him where he's actually photobombing me
and doing me, because I was doing this, and he's behind me doing that.
That's amazing.
How legendary is that? Yeah.
So what did
that guy was amazing.
What did Billy Crystal say about the quote?
He looked at me and he just like winked. And
Nice.
Goes, oh yeah, I remember that one.
He say
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome, man. Well, let's talk about the bass and play a little bass.
Yeah, man.
So, and then not taking lessons. Like, what's your technique for bass playing? Like, what do you?
Practice a lot.
Yeah.
Just play a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. Nice G&L, Jeff. I agree. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I just fell in love with it so hard that it wasn't about not doing lessons. I just wanted to play it every single day.
Sure.
So I played it every single day.
That's
And I
awesome.
just would, you teach yourself a major scale. You learn, what's that? I remember I learned an augmented scale. Was that diminished?
Yeah, because you're doing minor third.
Yeah.
Play it again. Yeah, that's diminished. Well, that's a diminished root.
But I never,
minor third.
yeah, but
flat
I never
fifth.
used
Diminished.
it. But I thought it sounded so cool.
Sounds rad.
I'm like, that's,
Yeah.
but I never used it. But I just think, you teach yourself major scales, some notes. And in the book, I go over that it's all about some essential notes.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're starting out, if you're starting out, you got to learn a couple of essential notes.
You do.
Get started there
Yeah.
and then just go on. And if you want to study deeply, study deeply. If you want to just kind of get going and get excited, play Stand By Me and some simple songs.
Yeah.
Well, Stand By Me is actually not that simple of a tune. Not for a total beginner, like who's barely picked it up.
Sure.
So You Really Got Me is pretty like.
Yeah. And then it goes up. Yeah.
And just, that's a pretty simple tune.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
one of the first I ever learned.
That's cool.
And
It's a
I'm
great
like,
song.
I think I put a band together within the first month of owning a bass, just for fun.
That's
Because
so
I thought
cool.
it'd be fun. you
Yeah.
know?
And the first one, diminished seventh arpeggio.
Yeah.
That's what you were playing. That.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's it, dude. Give me.
there you go.
That sounds so impressive.
I love it.
man.
No. Let's see, Eric. It's so crucial to be able to properly communicate with others. Yes. So many great musicians and bands don't make it only from not being capable of communicating.
100%.
Yeah.
But let's read that again.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he's
many
just
great
saying you need to be able to
musicians and bands
communicate.
don't make it only from not being capable. Yeah. Communication is definitely. Well, the other thing too is, no matter if you're in a garage band to Sugar Ray to whatever, it becomes a family.
Yes.
And there's family
It really-
dynamics.
yeah, it
and
does.
And there's family dynamics
Yeah.
that are good and bad.
100%.
So again, communicating and learning how. I mean, if you haven't seen the movie Some Kind of Monster by Metallica, it's fantastic because you see one of the world's biggest bands have this inner strife, and then they get the counselor and they go through things. So I think that model is. It happens in no matter what level you're in. Because I was in garage bands and, we would
Same
would
exact
fight.
dynamic. It doesn't. You're
it
right.
doesn't matter.
You're a garage band
Yeah.
and Metallica.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing I learned, Eric, thank you for your question.
Yeah, Eric,
I'd like
thanks.
to ask you back a question, Eric, if you can hear me and you want to write back. I want to know what made you get to that understanding.
Ooh,
I'd like to know
I like that. Eric, tell us.
And so for me, I realized that in my band, Sugar Ray, it was, Stan, Rodney, me, Craig, Mark. I realized that like we could all go away from a meeting, that maybe we usually have meetings in a hotel if something went bad. We didn't have a good gig. And then we'd have the greatest gig of all time the next day. It would just be I don't know why. That was the chemistry I think that we had between ourselves for some reason. But I think that what I was getting, my point was that you could have a meeting and literally each band member would kind of hear it a little differently.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
Or they would go, it's not always as clear as you think, communication. So that's a good comment. I think that people just were different.
No matter what.
And we have different, like.
Well, everybody communicates different. Everyone's different, like a family.
Yeah.
I think it's so funny that
It really is, man.
the band meeting, no matter what level, I've been in so many band meetings.
Have you? Yeah.
And most of the time they're completely shitty. They're just bad.
And they're
you're
not
just
for
like,
a good reason, right?
No.
They're not always like,
It's like,
hey,
oh.
everything's going great. Let's have a band meeting.
No, it's like, band meeting. Oh, you know, sometimes the guitar is a little too loud all the time. And
At least you're meeting, though.
yeah, at least you're meeting.
I
Yes,
would
exactly.
say.
Let's see, Brad Cox, thanks for checking out. My G&L is the best sounding bass I've ever had. Thanks to Murphy for showing me the light.
Brad Cox, what's up, buddy? Brad
What's
is
up,
a
Brad?
badass producer.
Nice.
He's in Atlanta, right? Do I have that
Okay.
right? Brad,
Where you at, Brad?
He's amazing.
Nice.
We connected over, I don't know how Brad and I connected. We connected in LA years ago, and he's just amazing. He works with publishers.
Wow.
He's producing all kinds of stuff, and he just got that kind of, that orange-red color.
He just bought one. He just got it in the mail. He showed me. And so I'm like, it's the LB100, but it's kind of an orange with that color pickguard. What is that red color?
Tortoiseshell pickguard.
No, but what's that kind of orange-red color from G&L?
Tangerine metallic.
That's probably it, yeah.
Brad, hit me up and let me know if you ever need anything from the G&Ls.
Brad is super dope.
There you go, or connect us up.
Yeah. That's right. I knew he was in another one. Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, he's a really good producer. Brad.
That's cool. So, all right. So let's talk about expanding from just bass playing to actually knowing other instruments and knowing the roles and recording and filming, because I think we
love filming.
And producing, recording. You've recorded a lot, and we always talk about it's good to know that. Knowing gain stages, knowing what a preamp does, knowing what a DI does. I don't know. Do you do a lot of recording nowadays?
I did a lot of it. I mean, early on, I was the recording nerd kind of in the band, where I had for a lot of records, I was doing pre-production in like my garage. Actually, the reason why Cribs is at my house, well, they asked Mark to do it.
Okay.
And Mark said, dude, I don't want them to come to my house. He didn't want it for some reason. He goes, can we go to your house? Because we were doing pre-production in my garage. That's why, do you remember me going like, oh, look out, and I came out of the door?
Yes.
Or for whatever. We were jamming in the in my little garage there. Where I jumped in the pool with the dog was right next to the jam. So,
oh my God.
I did a lot of that, and I kept doing it, and I kind of recently have not been doing any more recording. I feel like sometimes if I'm in a producer, I'll just go on forever and leave that to other people.
But I think
I like to fiddle. Of course we do. Yeah.
But knowing that, if you're in an environment like for me, if I come in something and people, at least like
for sure.
I know what they're going through some stuff, and then if I want to help, I don't know. It's knowledge is good, like learning all that stuff, going through it, and I talk a lot about recording on this. If you've never recorded yourself, that first time you hear back, you're going to be like,
oh yeah,
whoa.
Yes.
So but the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more comfortable. Last week we did a whole thing, and I put a bunch of loops, AIFF loops, so that my guys, my people or whatever, the people could download and mess with a DAW, and start playing along to loops. So let's see.
That's a very, very good.
Yeah. So Peter, bands are like a dysfunctional family. Absolutely. Brad Cox, you guys are dope. Thanks,
no,
Brad.
Brad, you're dope, man.
No, you are. You are.
Peter, bands are like a dysfunctional family.
Yes.
But I want to go back to what you were saying about ask us questions. Let's go. We love it. We love you. I love you. Mwah. The thing about producing, you're right. It's just experience.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Instagram videos with Rick Rubin. Dude, Rick Rubin is a mad genius.
So I just listened.
His stuff is so good.
He has
like
a podcast called Tetra something, but I just listened to his Andrew Huberman one.
He's so damn smart.
Rubin is awesome. Yeah.
He's so intelligent.
Yeah.
He's saying, the one I just watched was that you make songs in your art for you.
Yeah.
You don't even consider the audience.
Yeah.
And I go, when you listen to him talk, you just go, this guy is wise. He's done a lot. But I think that, so when I was saying about me and producing, what kind of stuff do you most like to teach?
Yeah,
Jay. What's your name, Jay? I want to know your full name. It could be Julie. It could be Joe.
I think they are so cool. I think Jay.
Yeah.
It's just Jay.
It's just Jay, man.
That's it. It's just Jay.
What do I like
we love
to
you, Jay.
I like to teach. I think I like to teach beginning stuff. I really like to teach the very first, playing. If you completely suck, we all were there. Everybody's been in a position where you're like, this feels so foreign. My fingers hurt. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because you know what I want to do? I want to coach that person and go, dude, you got this. You can do this, man. I did it. You can do it. And tell them that their love for doing it, their love for the instrument is what's going to help them get them through. Just kind of keep them focused on what they like.
You have to go through the suck.
Yeah.
And I think you
got to go through the suck.
And I think it's always there's levels. Like one of my teachers said that when you're playing, there's always this floor. Like you get to a certain floor, and there's this ceiling. And the ceiling, the better you get, the ceiling keeps going up. The floor goes up a little bit.
Right.
You can't really go below that floor because what you've gained is this.
Yeah.
So you need to push yourself. That's why a lot of people are like, how do I find people to play with? Man, community colleges are great.
Yep.
Because then you meet like-minded people.
Yeah.
You get together and jam.
Putting yourself out there and doing all that. And one thing, Jay, I want to add to your comment, Jay. You know what I really love to teach actually is writing.
Yeah.
I'm not Bear, how do you say it? The famous songwriter Carol Bayer, Sager.
Oh,
It's a tongue twister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I love riff writing. I'm obsessed with. That's what I did in the band. That's why I played guitar. I taught myself guitar because I loved like riffy AC/DC and Zeppelin. Like they were riffy blues rock. I wrote a lot on guitar that way. So I really love trying to see if somebody can write. I actually had a student who, Alex Page, she was just, her mom said, hey, can you teach my daughter guitar? I'm like, sure. And so I started hanging out with her and jamming a little bit. And it turns out she's not only a brilliant songwriter who's now on tour with a record deal.
Whoa.
She's doing gnarly. She's in Europe. Her name's Alex Page.
Okay.
ALIX Page. And,
Okay.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not going to teach her any more chords.
Yeah.
Do you got anything? I feel like, you write anything? She goes, yeah, I have this one thing I haven't showed my dad or mom. And she plays, and I go, whoa, that's insanely beautiful and poignant and amazing. Let's keep doing that. So just trying to find things within people to try to express yourself. That's what writing is to me, no matter whether you're folk or you want to do metal or indie or jazz, whatever. It's like,
creative.
How are you going to express yourself? That's what this really is.
Yeah.
It's a way to express yourself.
I love it. Let's see. We've got Waldo White. What was your gear setup like on tour?
What's up, Waldo?
Ooh. What's up, Waldo?
I had, that's a rad question. I had a lot of different setups. I had SWR at one time.
And
I had Ampeg for the whole time.
SVT 810.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. You can't go. That's it. That's the touring
Two
rig.
of them too. It was so rock star the day. When you're doing well, the funny thing is when you're doing well, everybody gives you stuff. When you're broke, you got nada. But so like Adidas and all the 90s.
Gosh.
Do you remember Third Rail in the 90s? I bet there was this company called Third Rail that was so 90s, baggy stuff. Everybody was giving us stuff. Like it was crazy when we had our record deal. So to answer your question, I think I started with Ampeg. I started with Ampeg. I had an 8x10. I had the classic SVT head, but then I switched to SWR for a little while, and but the Ampeg, 810 stacks was like, that was so exciting.
Yeah.
The one time that I had it that I felt like such a rock star was when we were on tour with 311, Sugar Ray, and Fastball.
Oh, man.
What an amazing tour. Remember we were in Phoenix. It was our first date. We roll in. And what's so incredible, Waldo White, about being on tour is that you have people setting up your stuff. And I don't know if that's rock star or not, but it's just how it rolls.
Yeah.
So you don't roll out your stuff always.
No.
You have your job. You're doing interviews and whatever you're doing. And
you're a megastar.
Whatever. Well, no, it's just that's how it kind of goes.
Yeah.
You can maybe, I want to be the crew. Okay, but but you just go, okay, then I'll do it. I'll keep writing in the whatever the room. So I roll out to a stage. I'm at the top, and it was a shed. It was like probably 8,000 seats or whatever. And I see that my bass tech was checking my bass, and it was 2.8. And I'm just listening, going, that's me.
Oh, man.
And so I finally got up, and there's like rugs. They tape rugs down professionally.
Yeah.
It was so rock star. It was like, tonight we're in Phoenix. It's going to be Fastball, Sugar Ray, 311. I have 2 stacks of Ampeg. And the thing about loud stacks like that, it's not like you want to be below everybody's eardrums. It's the width of sound is pretty dope because you've got a big space there. It's so incredible.
It's the feel. Yeah.
It was literally like a drug. I'm like, this is so, when I started playing, I'm like, oh. Lordy,
it just gave you that like, whoa.
I was just blessed, yeah. So that, I think Ampeg, and I've done, I have a G&L kind of forever. Ernie Ball too, Sterling. Sure. I love the Ernie Ball Sterling basses. Nice. They were always good to me, very good to me, Ernie Ball.
That's awesome. All right, Eric's response. I've learned the importance of communicating from trial by fire. It's essential to learn from each mistake, as it's only a true mistake if there's no lesson learned. Also, it's what makes bass an even more crucial instrument, as it allows you to step back and see the bigger picture.
Eric, you need to write a book or something, dude. Are you an instructor or a professor?
Spitting knowledge.
This is an intelligent human being right here.
That's awesome, Eric. Yeah. I think it's very cool.
SWR, need an upgrade. What's that?
So let's see. Working Man's 15, it's still SWR, need an upgrade. So those Working Man 15s were cool. They were the combo.
Yeah.
So Steve Robbie was, before SWR, you had the SVT, you had the other, and then SWR was the first company that kind of went to this like 410 jazzy
were they really?
with with the horn, and they had that head, the SM400, and you had Marcus Miller.
They were really good.
It kind of changed
just
the
looked badass too.
They looked rad.
They had a vibe, man.
They looked rad.
There's something. Can we admit that in rock and roll or whatever, whether it's jazz or rock and roll, punk, new wave, metal, there's something to the look of things, right?
Yeah.
And they say even when you talk about food and eating and all that, like you
eat with your eyes.
You eat with your eyes. So it's like, I want to play with my eyes. I want to.
Yeah.
There's a part of that that's cool. And when I saw those SDRs, I'm like, those are dope.
Those
man.
are rad.
I want to play through those.
But yeah, need an upgrade? Yeah, there's so many great amps right now for a price. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And you don't need the big. I think
No.
there's Aguilar. Dude, those are
Aguilar.
insane.
Yeah, there's
right?
just a 112 with a 500.
Mark bass are great. Fender's making some
the
good
Fender
Rumble series.
Rumbles.
I love them.
Fender Rumbles are killer, man.
I actually recommend Fender Rumble in my book. So when it comes out, you got to check it out.
Check it out and hit up the Sweetwater partnership. Buy through
Yes.
Sweetwater. They help
Sweetwater.
us out. Help them out.
Sweetwater,
The bass of dragging around an 810 amp head.
yeah.
Yes, young kids will never know the pain. Not to mention how heavy those classic
so
heads.
true.
Yeah. But they sound so effing good, man. That
Yeah, they do.
SVT, that to me, the SVT head and the Aguilar DB750 were like my favorite. And it's like you were talking, you can play this. This sounds great, but there's something about that, almost absolute power.
Yes.
Where you hit and you just feel this like, this pillow.
It's an experience you have to experience.
It's pretty rad. So
and I'll say, you know what's funny about gear being heavy is that, do you remember, does anybody out there who's watching, because is this going to replay?
it'll replay like,
cool.
it'll be
So we'll get
archived.
comments somewhere?
Yeah.
Does anybody old enough to remember when like stereo speakers were super heavy?
Yeah, the
Like
magnets, they were
rocks.
just massive.
They were, so things always seem to be so heavy. I think technology's rad though, that like the Fender Rumble series is a great series. I think it's a very good portable, light. Dude, the fact that I don't have to break my back is really nice.
I know.
So they figured it out, but things were heavier and they sounded great. But I think it's great that they sound great now and they're lighter.
They have the Neo.
I got a choice now.
Yeah, the neodymium. I was not a fan
What's that?
of neodymium magnets. That's the lighter weight stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they've come so far. They're actually pretty good. Like this is an SL. This has a Neo. Anyway, it's just
there's
technology.
You're
kinda
right.
coming up.
There's
so.
something to the way it should be made.
Yeah.
Then just make your decision.
Yeah. Dude, this has been fun. We could keep yapping, but I think
Yeah,
it's time
man.
for the lightning round.
Let's
Is it
go.
lightning round, everybody? Let's go. All right,
go.
lightning round is next. All right, we are back with lightning round. We're gonna get crazy. We're gonna
Crazy.
field some questions.
Crazy.
And you're gonna answer them quick. No, you're just gonna answer them at your own pace, Murphy. All right, let's see. First one. What is something you love about touring and something you hate about touring? Ooh.
Love about touring. Well, actually, I haven't toured in a while, but of course I can draw on the memory bank.
Sure.
Love about touring. It's obviously the cliche of seeing new places is awesome. I mean, I got to see Australia and jog through parks in England, play golf in New Zealand, and like a lot of really fun things. The people too, that's awesome. Seeing cool places you would never get to and get paid to go there, and then meet great people is really, really a cool part. Hating about it, I don't know. I mean, what I don't know, man. What do you hate about touring?
Just some weirdness.
You
I
feel
mean,
honestly, you feel blessed to be out there. So it's hard to go.
I like it.
Oh, I got 9 things I hate. It's like there's nothing I hate. I mean, maybe missing my pillow.
There you go.
No, I don't know.
Missing home, stability or something. Who knows?
Not the long hours or the bus ride. I mean, that's part of the deal. I don't hate that.
And you're with your family. You're with your friends.
Probably missing home life.
Yeah.
Because life moves on. You're gone for 10 months of the year. Things have moved on, and you're like, that kind of sucks. So I'll say that.
Okay. There we go. Next one. What was the first song you remember learning on bass?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think it was either Steppin' Stone or You Really Got Me.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That's rad. All right, next. When you joined Sugar Ray, did you expect the band to blow up like it did?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
No problem. First week. No, we were actually a band for 7 years before Fly happened. So, honestly answering your question, of course not. No way. When you get in a band, I think the only thing you can do is if you feel a chemistry in something kind of special, try to honor that. Literally, I mean, you don't know, you have no idea what's going to happen. Like sports teams, like nobody knows who's going to win the championship or get the hit record. You really don't know. But the thing about chemistry that you should honor, I believe, if you're asking and you're out there and you're watching this right now, is that special things can come from a chemistry. Because I think when you listen to Rick Rubin or people that talk about where good things come from in this world, they kind of fly in and you capture them, and that can happen. We've talked about it, being in a good mood, being in a good place. So, of course, I did not know. Thanks for the question. But honor the chemistry that you find with people.
I love it. That's awesome. What's the best music advice you have received?
The best. I don't know. What do I want to ask you? You answer this too. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll think about it. That's a hard question. It's a good one though.
I know
I'll go to Doug Morris.
There you go.
He didn't really give it to me directly, but it's in my book. He's in the book. It's the story I told you.
Mm-hmm.
It's that this guy had no idea. Doug Morris heard this. He watched this video of us, and he just went on a gut. He went on his feeling.
Wow.
He's like, sign that right there. That's why I got into music.
Yeah.
We captured something on that video that was so primal for him. He just like reacted. And so that was a pretty amazing lesson. That guy had no idea. We could have just drained all our money and had horrible music, but somehow, thank you, Doug Morris.
Yeah.
Somehow that gave us the opportunity to do well. And a couple years later, make a song that did really well.
That's cool.
So it was going on gut, making a decision, and not second guessing it.
That's cool.
That's a hard question, though, right?
That is a tough one.
What's the best piece of music advice? There's so many, but I'll go with Doug Morris going with his gut and being a genius while he did it.
I read a quote that changed me from the Tao of Jeet Kune Do by Bruce Lee. It says, art is devoid. Art reaches its highest peak when it's devoid of self-consciousness. And
that's pretty rad, yeah.
That changed. Like I was like, and it just kind of changed
Yeah.
the way I kind of thought about stuff.
I'll throw one other
Yes,
quote out there.
let's do it.
Gustav Mahler.
Oh.
I just read this. I thought it was interesting. If you think you're boring the audience, go slower, not faster.
I like it. Milk that shit.
Mahler said that. Like, that must be true.
Wow, that's cool.
Some
All right.
orchestra,
Yeah. Was there anything you wish you knew before going on tour?
Oh, everything, man. That's a tough one. I wish I knew. There's little things you figure out, you know, like to bring your. You bring your pillow, you know, like little things.
Interesting.
You start to. Oh, actually, you know what I did figure out? Bring a jacket. Here we go. Yeah, I used to write all this stuff out. I journaled. Bring a jacket everywhere you go. Even bring a jacket to Arizona in the summer, because what'll happen is, I remember this was a post I wrote. Is because people overcompensate and they'll crank the air everywhere you go. So you'll have places that are freezing. So there's your jacket. And they can also be a nice little ball for a pillow. So bring a jacket everywhere you go on tour, no matter how hot it is. You'll wind up using it.
That's it, right there. If you could only pick one genre to listen to for the rest of your life, what genre would it be?
Let's go yacht rock. No,
yacht rock, I love it. Yes.
I've been obsessed with yacht rock lately.
I love me some yacht rock.
I don't know, that's hard to say. I still listen to like old new wave, I don't know, everything. It's hard to say. I can't answer that, but I love yacht rock too, man.
There's a great documentary.
I love yacht rock,
Did you see the yacht rock documentary?
No, I have not.
It's the rise, the fall, and the resurgence, and it's amazing, dude.
Is Christopher Cross in it?
Well, yeah, I think he's in it. Yeah. So you got to watch it.
I have a story about it. I know him.
Oh, you know
somehow.
Christopher Cross?
It's weird, yeah. But that's for
Does he
another day.
ride like the wind?
Ah.
Oh, there you go. We'll get to that.
While he sails.
He sails.
While he sails.
While he sails. Wait, did he sail? Yeah. Okay. What has been most challenging about pursuing a career as a professional bassist?
These are great. Who asked these?
They compile.
These are good.
The team is.
Look at
killer
Mo.
here.
Oh, there's Mo. I texted Mo earlier. Mo's here. Hi, Mo.
Nice. Hi, Mo.
Hi, everybody who's checked in. I want ask questions and show your name. I can say hi to you. I want to say hi to everybody here. The most challenging about pursuing a career as a professional bassist.
Yes.
Starting out. That's the most. That was the most challenging thing to go. This is all I want to do. That's tough to do. To say I don't want a backup plan. I don't want to go to college because it's everybody just, where are you going? Where's this, USC, TCU, Oregon, like the sweater brand. It's a lot of
UCI.
pressure. It's a lot of pressure. UCI, great school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure, I think, for kids to go, what are you doing? What's going on? What's your plan? What's your backup?
Yeah.
My mom would always say, honey, would you like to go get a job at UCI? She would cut out clippings for me. There was like an x-ray lab assistant at UCI. Could you see me with a lab coat, like doing, while I'm like long hair trying to be a rocker?
Yeah.
I loved that she wanted that for me, but I'm like, Mom, I just got to work at Little Caesars a little longer. Just the dream's going to happen. So, I think starting out was tough to actually just go for it all the way.
Got it. As a kid, who was your biggest role model?
My dad was pretty badass.
I love it.
My dad was pretty badass. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There we go. If you could have dinner with one artist, living or dead, who would it be? Ooh.
Oh, man. That's such a common question, but it is a good question.
It's a good question. Yeah.
I don't know. Beethoven might be amazing to have a ham sandwich with.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, present day or back
Paul,
then.
I Paul McCartney probably. He's not dead,
Okay.
but I'd have to say Paul McCartney.
Yeah, McCartney.
He's my musical hero of all time.
That's right. All right, Mo. You know Mo?
Mo, what's up, buddy?
Mo, what was each band member's go-to drink back in the
Oh,
day?
great question. Come on, baby.
Yes.
Always red Solo cups backstage.
Oh, my God.
Stan was a Pinot Grigio. Mark was a Stoli Cranberry. I was a Mexican beer. Rodney was a Kahlua and something else, whatever you add to that. And Craig was like, Craig, I had them all, didn't I?
Yeah, but except for Craig.
He'd drink anything.
He'd drink anything. He did the mixture.
Yeah.
He just took everything. Let's see, Peter, when do you know when it's time to give up the group and move on to others?
Love it, Peter. When do you know when it's time to give up the group? You know what? Usually you don't know. Yeah. Usually it just hits you in the form of an email or something happens. Yeah. But that's an interesting question. I'd like to ask why he's saying that.
Yeah,
I think that sometimes you don't go, I think it's time to, I think things kind of collide maybe, and like a bad gig and a weird thing happens. That's an interesting question though.
Yeah, it's dynamics too. You never know. Like if like there's just always weirdness. So yeah. So
Stevie D, what's up, buddy?
Stevie D.
Love Steve.
Yeah.
Stevie DeStanislav.
Yes,
you know him?
Yeah, of course.
Dude,
yeah,
he's amazing.
I know he is. Yes, amazing
Awesome.
drummer.
I texted him.
Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. Will SR ever play again? Oh, that's part
they
of
are
the question
currently
before.
touring. Sugar Ray is currently playing.
Well, there you go.
Do you mean the original 5 members? That's the question that is. There you go.
Who knows?
All
All right.
Yeah.
Stevie D, what do you look for in a drummer, and how do you approach playing with a drummer?
Do you have a car that can bring stuff around? Can you bring shit around? No, as a bass player, I had a truck. I remember that was nice to have a truck. But in all honesty, Stevie, thanks for chiming in, buddy.
Yeah,
Good to see you. I remember playing, when I first got started, I was jamming with some people. The first time you play bass with a gnarly drummer, your head explodes.
Yeah.
It feels so good. You're like, whoa. Yeah. You've never thought anybody could just be so...
This thing, yeah.
It's usually a simple beat that is not busy. Because when you start out, I think when people start out, you play real busy. Are we still?
Yeah, we're still going. Let's go.
You're busy, right? Oh, look how good I am, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about that. Yeah. When you find pros, when you go listen to John Mayer's bassist or drummer or some guy on tour, it's pretty simple.
Well, his first Brew, they called him. His first one on the Room for Squares. I love that bass.
Oh yeah, really? Okay, cool.
And it's just groove and pocket and the
really
drummer.
Good. Yeah.
And then you got Pino and Jordan.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, he played on his stuff.
Well, on the 3-piece thing. Yeah, it was Pino Palladino and Steve Jordan and Mayer.
I don't know why I brought Mayer, but I saw him when he kind of had a problem and went away, and he came back and did a tour, and it was amazing. Yeah. I could tell the bass player was the musical director on tour because I could see that, and so I just meant. Man, you got to lay back. Pros lay back sometimes. They don't always want to shine.
Yeah.
I think we go to the shiny stuff, but show me the pro musician. I don't care what instrument. It could be a guitar, drums, bass, even a singer or backup that can just play for the band and the song and just be there for the moments you go, I'm digging that. Because there's a guy that might want to dig that, like the guy who likes Malcolm McLaren better than Angus Young or something. You know, the rhythm of AC/DC.
Yeah.
So, Steve, it's a great question. You want to connect with someone. I've been saying that a lot. The chemistry, and you're so stoked if your drummer is solid.
Yeah.
I think solid is an overlooked word. It's very simple. When you hear somebody solid next to you, you can count on that like a rock.
Yeah.
I love that.
And people play differently. Like I play with a lot of different drummers.
100%.
And bassists play differently.
100%.
Some play on, behind, in front,
Yes.
whatever. So you have to hear like, okay, where are you putting that? Then cool.
Yeah.
I think the clash starts when one guy says this is where it is, and the other guy says this is where it is.
Yeah, right.
That's where you start getting this bumped head and band meetings because the drummer and bass player aren't getting along.
Absolutely, 100% right. People play things differently, and if you found like 5 bass players or however many to play come together, they'll each play it, I swear to you, a hair different. It'll feel a little different.
Yeah.
And that's how I think I'm going to do a video, I think, called Your Musical DNA. Like, the way you play something is different. There's a quick story. I wanted to remember, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, okay, Rodney and I playing different timing. You said that when the timing is off, I want to tell you a story where our timing was off, but it was on. Like, really deeply, weirdly rad.
Nice.
But before I say that, remember that, the fact that people play differently, we were doing a song for the Jerky Boys soundtrack. You remember the Jerky Boys? Anybody remember the Jerky Boys out there?
Love me some Jerky Boys.
So we were doing, it was called Beef Jerky, and we were playing a bass line that it was so simple, kind of sour. It was just real simple. And in Lior, he's Lior Demont, the DJ for House of Pain.
Okay.
And he was in Limp Bizkit too. He had this idea, and we were doing it together, and he started playing it. And I go, that's rad. So you're the bass player. Yeah. And I started playing it, and I did it so on the notes, and it was perfect. And I go, the way you played it was so cool, Lior. I go, why don't you? And I handed it to him, and I tell you, it was so different. He was a beginner, didn't really play bass. Yeah. He just had a thing the way he did it. Yeah. It was magic to me. I go, dude, we're using that one. I played the guitar on it or something, and so people have a DNA to themselves that comes out different on an instrument.
Well, you can give the same instrument, whether it be drums or bass. And you can tell
little differences.
And you can tell, like I worked for Kerry Nordstrom for a long time. Yeah. And we would know when somebody was playing, like, oh, that's Adrian. Oh yeah, that's Kerry back there.
Totally.
And it's on the same instrument. Anyways, it's just
and one more thing.
I like that musical DNA. Yeah.
The rest notes is sometimes where you notice the difference when somebody, because there's no scientific. Yeah. This is. When you rest, sorry, we could go on and on. I'll tell the Rodney story later, but that's a pretty interesting story.
That's cool. All right, we got a couple more comments. Let's see, Peter, when it's no longer fun, that's a good indication of time to GTFO. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure, yes. Well, no, Peter, hold on. I had a lot of fun times on tour that sucked, and I kept going because I knew that I wanted to honor the band, and I still love the band. So the suck, what did you say, the good indication that no longer fun? Okay, let's call it suck or no longer fun. If that's arbitrary, then you have to decide what's worth it. Do you quit and go home, or do you keep taking it and go on? I think if it's abuse or something crazy, maybe. But it will get hard, and you've got to be able to figure out hard times. So he's got a point there, but it depends. It does.
I think this next one I'm going to let you read.
Hey, great show today, Julie Karges. Hey there, babe.
Nice.
Thanks for chiming in.
Murphy's seen it all.
Justin Casanelli from Philly chiming in. That's my buddy.
Oh, that's awesome. Murphy's seen it all. Thanks for all the great times backstage.
You're the best, buddy. So that is Stan, the drummer in Sugar Ray's brother-in-law.
Oh, that's awesome.
Stan married, So
wow.
There's
Man.
Justin.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. That's cool.
Justin, you've seen a few with me.
He knows. All right, I think it is time. We're going to feature you on some video here. So let's go to the Amped Up section right now.